Hey guys, so right now everybody's thinking about a solution for this particular situation that we are going through. A lot of jobs being lost, a lot of NGOs coming forward and helping, and many other institutions, not just NGO. When I say NGO, I mean anyone who is coming forward to help the needy. So, here is a thought that I had in my mind that I wanted to share. I believe we have a lot of helpers, but the biggest problem is that there is no coordination between the help. We don't know where the help is needed, we don't know where it is being given. And there might be places where there is extra help, and there might be places where there is a need but no one is helping. So that's why I came up with this small plan. The phase 1, part A of this plan is to start a food train from Churchgate to Virar. Just an example. Now I know some will say the train people will not agree and this and that, then we can do it by road. But let's discuss the original idea first. The food train. So we start the food train from Churchgate, take it till Virar. On every station, we give 100 food parcels initially. Okay, we at least book the food from NGOs. Now there has to be one big coordinator who arranges for this coordination. They don't actually give the food, but they do the coordinating part. Now, why do I say this? Because every NGO does not go up to another NGO to help. But if there's a coordinator, maybe someone like a Tata, Birla, or Mahindra, whoever. So if they can come around and be this coordinator and bring all the NGOs together and do this on a very grand scale. So the train starts from Churchgate. They get around 2 to 300 food parcels there. So we know that the next food parcel is going to get off at, we first give 100, let's say at Churchgate, we give next 100 at Marine Lines, we give next 100 at Churney Road. By Churney Road, we have another 100 coming in from another NGO, which we give away at Grant Road, Bombay Central, and so on. So every station we give like 100. That's then we come to know that what the requirement is, and accordingly we increase the stock if required or decrease the stock if required. And the train goes all the way till Virar, giving 100 at every station. The people who need it come forward, they come and eat there, right? Now the giver, the NGO, has the right to put his name on the food parcel. It even counts for the fact that that person will be responsible for the kind of food being given. If there's any complaint, it will be with the NGO for the food not being good or anything like that. Okay, and then once this is set up, we also need to know what is really happening. What happens is once these things start, they tend to get covered up by fake numbers and this and that. So keep it realistic. We need an app. Now this app will take the fingerprint and the photo of the person taking the food, the person giving the food throughout. This way we will have an actual identity of the person who is taking the food and who is giving the food. This could be linked to the Aadhaar card. If we get the permissions, we can link it to the Aadhaar card. That's the idea with regards to that. Okay, now once this is successful with this particular part of the world, that is in Mumbai, we go ahead and take this further. So the part B could be to the other lines like the Eastern, the Harbour trains. The next phase could be to Maharashtra, then to India, and then to the world. I know it seems too big, but it all starts with one step. So that's why I've divided these into various parts. Let's just look at part A for now, right? So let's just think about within Mumbai, we started from Churchgate to Virar, just for an example. We know we first gather the NGOs, we get the amount of food that we need, and we know that we have enough for the entire train from Churchgate to Virar, 100 each station, and we go ahead and do that. It may happen that, let's say, at stations like Mahim, because there's Dharavi next to it, we might need more. We may need 400, 500, 1000. I don't know. All that will be worked out later. We can get that information day by day, knowing how many are coming, what is required, where it is required, and this and that, and all that can be done. That coordination will happen if there is a common point. So then the coordinator tells these NGOs that yes, we need more at Mahim, for example, because of Dharavi, and more NGOs come forward for that. or any institution, not just when I say NGOs again, anyone who's ready to give. Okay, so that takes care of that. Then we go further. Now, we have given them food, but then what next? How do we help them sustain themselves? Because no one can give forever. So, here's the next idea where we actually help them with some source of income. Now, we do have a lot of roads, a lot of roads, right? Now, what if we use the divider, that one single line of the divider, we use that to plant bamboos? Now, the BMC, of course, will have to be involved in this, and we need their permissions and everything. We ask them that just give us that one line where we can plant bamboos. A person, let's say he gets 1 kilometer to plant bamboos. Okay, um, we plant bamboos and we collect and we sell, and we earn from that, right? Now, I've just taken a hypothetical example that we do it only on the dividers. This could be on the footpaths on the side as well. Just one line, not cover the entire footpath. Just one line which acts as a barricade. It's a dual purpose. The roads will have proper markings. The roads will have proper bifurcations, which is the way to come, which is the way to go, and all that. Okay, it could be spaced out if it's on the footpath, so that it is seen and all that. If it's on the divider, it could be closer together. Okay, now where will these bamboos be sold? Now somewhere we are fighting the fight against plastic, so these bamboos will have to be a fight against plastic. Now, one of the biggest plastic that I personally see, which I don't know why people don't talk about, is water bottles. They are the biggest plastic consumers. Okay, wherever we talk about plastic, if you see a bottle will be involved, why not replace those bottles with bamboo bottles, right? I know there's someone who's already come up with this idea of bamboo bottles and they are working on it and it will take time to grow. But what if this is done on a nation level? Forget nation, at Bombay level. In Bombay itself, if you just ban plastic bottles and you say that you have to sell in bamboo bottles, then this bamboo that is being produced will have a buyer, right? Here again, I've taken a hypothetical example that 1 kilometer to grow, then it grows two bamboo worth 2 lakhs, it is sold, and 1 lakh goes to the BMC because they've given the dividers, and 1 lakh goes to the person growing it. If it is not more than 2 lakhs, both do profit share. If it is more than 2 lakhs, then both do profit sharing. If it is less, then next time they grow 2 columns of bamboos, right? Or 3 columns, it just depends how far short we fell. Then the person who's getting this money from these bamboos sold, they can probably contribute to the NGOs again, so that others can also do the same and grow further, right? Right now, I know within the city there may be less places where they can grow, but based on our requirement, we have the details of these people, we have the photos, we have the fingerprints, we know that they need food, they will come to us every single day. We might request them to move to another location where we need people to grow bamboos. So that is how we can actually spread this over a place. So let's say Bombay to Virar, Churchgate to Virar is full, then we can take them further down towards Surat, on the way keep growing bamboos. And once we cross the city levels, we do have a lot of open areas where we can actually grow a lot more and maybe make an entire farm of bamboos, that is if the BMC allows, and do it that way. So that will help the economy. But yes, this will not be possible without the help of the government and the public at large, right? So people will have to start demanding everything made of bamboos, right? Now just think about this: the medicine bottles, the shampoo bottles, the spoon, the fork, the chairs, the tables, the maybe the plates, maybe the sofa sets, maybe cupboards, everything made of plastic or metal or anything could be made out of bamboo, right? The people might start coming up things like boats. A kayak could be made out of bamboo. I mean, there are places where they just tie bamboos together and they float, right? Cycles could be made of bamboos. Cars outer frame could be made of bamboos. I'm just thinking out of the box right now, and there could be many other innovative ideas that could come forward, that what bamboos could be used for, and based on that we make this bamboo movement, and feed the needy, give them employment, give them source of income, and get them moving. That's the idea that I have with regards to this particular situation that we are right now. Let me know if you like the idea, and if you do, if you want to take this forward, if you would like to support me, or you want to take this up, and you want, if you would love me to be on the board so that I could guide. And since this is my vision, I might be, there's this movie called Independence Day, and there was this IT guy who knew how to put virus into the aliens. So they had to go into the alien area and plant that virus. His wife said, "Why don't you send someone else?" He said, "No, I may have to improvise, so it's better that I go." Similarly, you may have got the idea, but if I'm there, I may be able to improvise the way it might be required to. So, why not keep me involved? Let me know. Thank you. Take care.